Yes, guys, I'm Si. Welcome to Cardiff City World. What a week! What a couple of weeks! What a couple of years! What a couple of seasons! Absolutely atrociously bad, depressing. Where to even start? But this is your Blackburn Rovers versus Cardiff City preview. We'll discuss a little bit about the game and all that stuff. I'm just double checking we're live on the old YouTube and Twitter. But before we do that, I have got some positive news for the people who do follow the channel and who supported us and taken us to just under 1,000 subscribers in a year. And that is, I'm delighted to say that. Before we do that, I have got some positive. Let's not do that, Ashri. That as of now, as of today, it has been signed, sealed, and delivered. Cardiff City World audio will now be on the talkSPORT fan network, the only Cardiff City podcast, the only Cardiff City channel to be on the talkSPORT podcast network, by fans for fans. That's what their ethos is, the same as ours, which is by fans for fans. So I'm very excited. That's really good for us. In terms of the people who download everything, like from Spotify, Apple, nothing changes for you guys. It's just that they will be the ones who are hosting our audio, promoting it, etc. Obviously, a big deal for us and a good thing. talkSPORT is a massive company, probably the second biggest media company in the UK behind Sky. So, yeah, it's good. Look, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't chuffed. I had a meeting with them. It went well. Excited to partner with them and the opportunities that it might bring. You never know where I might pop up. So, yeah, very excited. Obviously, couldn't have done it and had this opportunity without my wife, the boys, Matt, Rob, Reese, Pan, Donna, the girls, Terry, everyone, Jamie, everyone who contributes, Cymru Sport, all of it. It's a massive team effort and just takes us, it's the next step. But let's talk about what we're here to talk about, innit? Jamie, and the kind of big thank you to Jamie, mate. He's always on hand to give us the view. And look, it doesn't matter how, and we will kind of talk about what I think we're going to do with the team, because I don't necessarily agree with it, but I understand it, and I'll give you the reasons why in just a second. Ultimately, the 400 plus fans who were going, I got so much respect for them. And, I put that video out yesterday whereby I just said, look, we're all pissed off about the board. We're all pissed off about the manager, whatever, the tactics, the players, all of it, the owner. Like, we all know what the problem is. We all know that we have to do something about it long term. But in the short term, we all have to play our part and get behind the team. We all have to do what we can to support those players in what is an incredibly high pressure situation. I'm sure there's a few in there lacking in confidence. So we have to do our part. And as Jamie says, those 400 odd who are going up to Blackburn tomorrow will make so much noise. And like I said, they're the lifeblood of this club. They're what keep us going. And I got a tremendous amount of respect for all of them. I wish I was still able to do it, but I'm not. But, it is what it is. So, as is tradition, let's have a look at Blackburn first. Obviously, most recently losing to Stoke, which was bad for us. And I think it's bad for us in two ways. One, it's bad for us because we needed Stoke to continue their bit of a free fall, which they've had. But we also kind of needed, Blackburn are going to be motivated even more so now because they're still pushing. And that result has obviously done nothing for them. So they will need to recover. They're 4 points off the playoff positions, level on games with West Brom. So they will be bang up for it. And, they score goals, they create goals, they play some good stuff. Quite like the manager. Their goal difference is 3. They do concede goals, but not as many as most teams. Like you look at it, apart from the couple in the top sort of 6, Blackburn have conceded 38 goals all season. I think that's bloody less than more than what we scored, or less than what we scored. Yeah, it's look, we've only scored 40 all season, and they've only conceded 38. It's going to be a difficult game. Blackburn will be motivated. They got some good players, good footballers. I really like their fullback, Callum Britton, but he's actually out at the weekend. He used to play for MK Dons. He's good, he is. I got quite a big fan of him. He's out. So, how do we think they'll line up? I mean, they might make a change or two from the Stoke game. They've lost 2 on the bounce now to bloody both of them. And you know, like, as we've said before, whenever teams are on a bad run, they come to us and win. Blackburn's last 2 games, they've lost to Derby County and Stoke. So they've done us no favours whatsoever. So, you know, anyone who expects an easy game is obviously kidding themselves. They tend to line up in like a 4-2-3-1. I do quite like Ishmael as a manager. You know, they've got some real good players. Again, I like Britton at right back, but I also like Ribeiro at left back. But they've got depth. You know, they brought against Derby, they bring on Todd Cantwell, Corley Woodrow, Dion Sanderson, who people will be familiar with. Like they've got some really good championship players, some really skillful players. So Cardiff are going to have to be at it, and Cardiff are going to have to do what we don't do, which start fast, be aggressive, get in their face, do the dirty work, and make them uncomfortable. We saw what Portsmouth did at Leeds. That needs to be the blueprint for what we do in every game now. That's got to be the blueprint. Get in their faces. Don't give them any time to settle. Don't give them any time on the ball. And fight for the badge. Fight for your teammates. That's what they've got to do. So Blackburn played Stoke on Wednesday. And, you know, just to rub that extra little bit of salt in the wound, the goal scorer was Ali Al-Hamidi, who we were very interested in the summer. I did a little scout report on him and said he'd be perfect for what we need. Can play wide, can play through the front, can play as a 10. But most of all, at this level, is his goal scorer. So just to add that little bit of salt in the wound. But I'm very happy with Salic, so I should say. But it does just make it that bit more irritating. So against Stoke, Blackburn did line up with a 3-4-3. So the manager can be quite flexible with his formations. They generally go with the 4-2-3-1, but they will revert to wing-backs if they need to. They brought in Sanderson against Stoke and played with the 3 at the back. And Cantwell got a start. It's difficult to predict. I think they'll go 3 at the back, I do. Because I think we're going to go 5 at the back. So I think they might match us up a little bit. But obviously with Britton out, does that change that slightly? Maybe. But they've got that other lad who's pretty decent, you know, so it's a tricky one. But yeah, let's have a look, shall we? So, you know, the keeper is going to be pairs. They'll have Carter and Hyam as 2 of the centre backs, Sanderson as the 3rd, and then you'll have Ribeiro on the left wing back. Right wing back, bit of a tricky one. I mean, they might even go the flat 4 and play Sanderson at right back. Every chance of that, I suppose. But yeah, Britton's out. So I'm not sure who they'll go with a right wing back. And then they'll have Forshaw and Travis as the double pivot in the middle. And then they'll have Guy up front with Todd Cantwell and Dolan play. Tyrese Dolan is a baller. Another one I did a scout report on. This is going to come back to haunt me. I can feel it already. It'll be like Cantwell, Dolan, and Sanderson to score the 3 goals. It's going to be painful. Tyrese Dolan, got a lot of time for him. I said he was on a free not long ago, and we should have picked him up we should have made the effort to pick him up. Obviously, he re-signed it with Blackburn. But there we go. It is what it is. That's how I think they'll line up. I think they will go with a 3 at the back because I think they'll try and match us up. and do it that way. Some people will disagree. The actual win and form, the form between the two teams is not like really. I don't think it comes into it at this stage. Blackburn have to win. Cardiff have to win. So it comes down to a number of things: bottle, desire, attitude, application, focus. A lot of the things that we've struggled with all season. Jamie says their individuals need to win their battles, but collectively give your all and leave it on the pitch. Don't come off there with any regrets. And that is, I couldn't have put it better myself, mate. And the thing is, right, is in some ways, I think we talked about this the other day. Individually, when you look at it, some of these players haven't been that bad individually, but collectively, we've been way off it. Application and focus has been a big issue. Individual sort of errors or brain fades or mistakes has been an ongoing thing all through the season. So you can't just go, oh, it's always Perry NG or at the start of the season, or it's Gutas, or it's this, or it's that. It's a collective thing. You've got to defend as a team. You defend from the front. Nobody can be like lazy or not do those hard yards. You've got to fill in the spaces. You've got to press when you press, and you've got to go together. No point one person pressing. It is what it is. But the danger man for Blackburn, for me, as much as I like Tyrese Dolan and I think he's going to score tomorrow, I think I'm going to go. Todd Cantwell, for me, like when he was at Norwich, he looked like he was going to be the next big thing. Honestly, he's such an absolute footballer. Went to Rangers and just went off the boil a little bit. Didn't quite do as well as was predicted. On his day, unplayable. A bit like Ruben Colwell. On his day, absolutely unplayable. When he's at it, unplayable. When he's not, well, he's not. So, you know what'll happen? Against Cardiff, he'll be at it and he'll have his day and he'll be unplayable. He is someone who I think can cause Cardiff issues. So normally they go Cantwell to be like on the left side of Guy and Dolan on the right, but they interchange. The three of them interchange a bit, but Cantwell quite likes drifting over to the right, Dolan into the little pockets. They'll be very difficult to pin down. So you have to be, like head on a swivel defensively and aware of that movement off the ball, because otherwise you'll get caught out. And, they got players like who've got injuries, Peck, Danny Bath, Owen Beck, Scott Wharton, Weinman. They got so many of these players. You never know who might pop up. Cardiff, injury-wise, Aaron Ramsey's picked up a hamstring injury. Very unlikely to be available. Joe Rawls is back in training. I believe Ollie Tanner the same. Turnbull is not far off, but I don't know if they're ready for tomorrow. Rinamoto maybe like bad, but hamstring is unlikely. It's going to be tough. I do think we're going to change this. I think we're going to go with a 3-5-2. I don't think it'll be the 3-4-2-1. I think it'll be 3-5-2 for me. And if I'm honest, I sent it to someone earlier, so I'll read out. This is the team that I think we will put out tomorrow. It's not necessarily what I would put out. I'm just telling you what I think the team will be. And I think it'll be Halworth in goal, NG, Gutas, Fish, Bagan, Rawls and Chambers, Manswerk, and then Mate, Salic, and O'Dowda. I think we're going to go for physicality, and I think we're going to be very direct. It isn't the side I would pick, but I'm not a manager. So it's what will be now. For me, I think it's absolutely essential that we play Ashford, Davis, Alves, like two of those three. If Tanner was fit, obviously I'd add him to that. Two of those three have to start on the wings. I would go with Ashford and Davis because they do the defensive work. But Alves does as well, in fairness. But I know Keane, I think, has had like a bit of a back issue. So I don't know if he's fit. But they do so much work backwards as well as forwards. They would be my choices. But I think we're going to see I think we're going to see Matty and Salic up there. I think Rawls will come into the midfield. I don't mind like Rawls coming in. I've said before, I think he can be a good player for us in certain games, like the South Wales Derby. He was excellent, but he gets it. Like at least that he gets the club. He will fight for that badge and he will give his all. So I would bring him in. I would probably. I don't know if I'd play all three of them, like him, Rawls, Mansverk, and Chambers. Like I think there you lack a little bit of creativity. I mean, Mansverk gives you the ball carrying, but I just think you haven't got like that creative spark. Like, you know, Rawls has got that good pass in him, got the vision, but like Robertson or a Ruben or a Alves, someone like that, they give you something just outrageous out of the box. But I think something's got to give. Personally, I think it's going to be like a 5-3-2 or 3-5-2, and I think it'll be Salic and Matty up front. But hopefully it'll be more like a 4-3-3 or something. It's difficult not to be concerned. Yeah, Evan, you're right, mate. So Evan says that's the most defensive side you've ever said. And he said, obviously not your choice. Yeah, it is absolutely not my choice, but that's what I think we will play. If I was picking a side, my side would be Alnwick, NG, Bagan at left back, and probably Fish and Gutas. I would kind of go against what I've been saying, and I'd stick with Gutas because he is a fighter. Even though my gut tells me Bagan and Fish at the back as the centre backs, but I think defensively we need a proper left back. So Bagan's the one there because I don't think you can go Bagan, Fish, and Giles in a game like this. So I'd go Bagan at left back, Fish and Gutas. Midfield, I'm going Rawls. I thought Callum Chambers was one of the very few players to come out with a bit of credit on Tuesday. But Mansverk gives you the physicality, so I think you'd have to go Mansverk and Rawls. I wouldn't be disappointed if we went Chambers and Rawls, but like one of them. Left wing, I would go Isaac Davis. Right wing, Keane Ashford. Up front, Salic. Number 10. I'd go Ruben. Simply because Robertson hasn't quite looked fit since he's come back from injury. And Ruben gives you that X factor. The wide players give you the pace. And Chambers or Mansverk and Rawls give you the base in midfield. But yeah, I think we'll see Bagan. I think we see Mansverk, Rawls and Chambers in midfield. I think we see Matty, Salic, O'Dowda maybe as the front 3 or 2 would have won. And NG, Gutas, Fish. Yeah, it's going to be defensive. Defensive and physical. I also think the advantage of having an Alves, a Davis, an Ashford on the wing is getting the ball, or an O'Dowda is getting a goal. Got to get the ball in the box. Like, if nothing else, Yusuf Salic has proven time and time again already since January, you put it in a box, he will get on the end of it. And if he doesn't get on the end of it himself, he will cause problems that leads to other people getting opportunities. He causes mayhem. Quite often he gets a touch on it himself. He's been quite creative. Does all his work between the posts, and he does it very well. Put a ball in the box. Like we quite often work quite nice positions, and we get to like the byline or the corner, and then we work it back and across. Get it in the box. Put it in the mixer. But actually, I think that's what I think we're going to go very, very direct. That's what I believe maybe I'll be wrong. I think we're going to go very, 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 very direct. I think it's going to be Mate Salic, get the ball up to them and play off them. We're going to go old school 80s, in my opinion. Just my opinion, though. The problem is, as well, is set pieces last year. We were very good defensively, and we scored a lot of goals from set pieces. This year, we can't seem to beat the first man from a set piece, and we seem to concede every time the ball goes in our box because we switch off. And that's why I think he goes with physicality and experience. He's going to go with Gutas. He's going to go with NG. He's going to go with O'Dowda. He's going to go with, Bagan, Rawls, Chambers, Mansverk, fighters, physical. I just think with that team that I predicted, I just think we lack a bit of pace or a bit of an X factor to get them on the break. Because ultimately, with that team, if we put them under a lot of pressure and we battle and we fight, when we do get the ball, who's going to do the damage? Are we depending on Chambers to hit a worldie, which he's perfectly capable of doing? He's shown that. Showed it again on Tuesday when he hit the bar. That feels very desperate to me. You look at some of the best managers in the world. They have a plan, and they got a plan B and a plan C, but they generally only go desperate long ball in the last few minutes when they're desperate for a goal. And I understand we're desperate for points, but I do think if we do go with that and go very direct and very long from the first whistle, I worry that that's that desperate mentality might have a negative effect on the defense. Everyone will be a bit desperate and panicky, and you need some cool heads in there. You need a Rawls, and obviously Ramsey's out, but you need a Rawls, and you need people to get the foot on the ball. We've got to look after the ball when we do get it and do damage, getting the ball in behind for those pacey wingers to do the damage. I'd love to see some of the young footballers get an opportunity at Cardiff, but let's be realistic. It's not the time for Lawler, for Giles, but I would love to see him, and I'd love to see us go and be attacking and just go win the football match. I thought we should have done that against Luton. I stick by that. If we'd had the right attitude and mentality and started at the right pace, Luton were very much there for the beating. We could have just gone and won the football match. And I don't know whether it was we overthought it or the pressure or what it was, but we just never got going. We got to really, really push into them. We have to get 3 points. Interesting, someone, one of my mates, who, his football opinion I respect greatly, said to me today, I never want Cardiff to lose. I always want them to win. But if we win, I think we go down. And I was like, what? And he said he thinks that if Cardiff win, the manager stay and everything, which is he doesn't want. And he's just said if we win, he thinks that they'll stick with him. And he said if we lose, thinks they'll make a change. And it's a tricky one because he's like, I don't want us to lose. We can't afford to lose. We need to win the football match. But he said, I'm worried because you look at that Luton game and it's hard not to be worried by the mentality just looked like that. It looked like mentally we thought we were going down. Whereas after the whole game, it felt like we'd created a bit of a gap and we could just go and kick on and play football. So it is a worry. But you've got to, in these big, high pressurized moments, you've got to do what you're good at. And we've got good footballers. Just need to move the ball a bit quicker and move off the ball. Press a bit higher. I do stand by this. I've said all season, it's little tweaks that we need. You put our best 11 out, right? Forget about the scenario of where we are. Just think best 11 that we can put out tomorrow out of the players, right? The best footballers we got, plus one holding midfielder, right? And they go out and they move the ball quick. They press high and together and they work hard. They don't switch off at the back. And whoever's got the ball has always got an option because people are rotating and moving. And when we got the opportunity to be putting the ball in the box, you're telling me that we can't go and beat Blackburn. You're telling me that wouldn't go and beat Luton. You're telling me that those footballers can't go and play good stuff. I just don't believe that. But the results and the table don't lie. Collectively, it has fundamentally not been good enough this year. It's interesting, Evan. I might get you on for a chat, mate, about it, because a month ago, actually all season, up until probably the last week, I kind of where you are. I was like, no, Lawler should be playing, Giles should be playing. I just think it's unfair on them, mate, ultimately. Evan says, for anyone who can't see, it just says, I'm sorry, but I completely disagree. It's not time for Lawler. When is the time? We lost to Aston Villa, but Lawler was exceptional. What I see from our senior players is not good enough. Play on form. That I agree with. And I think it's really fascinating, mate, because as I said, when I said it, I said I'm contradicting myself here because I've said for 6 weeks that Gutas probably should be dropped. If nothing else, give him a bit of a boot up the arse to rediscover his form and his focus, because I felt like he was an accident waiting to happen. The problem is, in every game, he makes several blocks, several headers, but he also looks like he's going to make a mistake. And he played a mistake against Luton, and it's cost us. Now, it could have been that Dylan Lawler in the same position makes the same choice and makes the same mistake. My point was with Gutas is you're playing him when he looks out of form. Will Fish is coming in and on, and he looks in form, and he's doing tremendously well. The last time we defended well, by the way, for 90 minutes, Perry NG and Will Fish were the centre-backs. Not that I'm advocating for them to be the centre-backs tomorrow, but what I'm saying is pick on form. Perry NG has earned his place back in the 11. Even if Rinamoto was fit, Perry NG has earned his place back in the starting 11, which is all I asked for when he was shoehorned into the side when he first came back from injury. I said, no, that's not acceptable, because there's players who've been patiently waiting and then contributing off the bench and rotation who've been doing quite well. You shouldn't just be shoehorning him in because of what he did 18 months ago or what he's done in his career previously. He has to earn that right and earn the right to be back in the 11. He's done that now, and he's been very good recently. The problem is, if there was a K-Pacquiao, there could be an argument that you could play Perry and Fish. All right, let's do it. Let's do it, Evan. Right, let's go. What, like the brave team, the team that deep down I would love to see us do. Halveth in goal. Giles left back. NG right back. Fish and Lawler. Central midfield. Manswerk, Robertson. Left wing. Sorry, I left out Bagan. I'd have Bagan in there as well. So I'd probably put Fish. Fish and Bagan centre back. Did I say that? Fish and Bagan centre back. Lawler will probably be on the bench for me. I don't know. But yeah. Go on, we'll go Bagan left back. Fish, Lawler, right back, NG. Yeah, fuck it. Put Turner in goal as well. And then I'd go Manswerk, Robertson, Alves left wing, Ashford right wing, Ruben 10, Isaac Davis up front. There you go. That one's for you, Evan. Okay? Happy now? No, I get it, mate. Like, I think I've been saying the same, I've been saying about Giles. The thing I like about Louis Giles, is when he gets forward, he whips crosses in, and his delivery is absolutely sensational. And I just think, like, for me, we just don't put a ball in a box when we get in the positions all the time. And then we just go back and sideways. And it really, really bugs me. And, like, I don't want to repeat myself, but as I've said numerous times, Cardiff have got such a unique opportunity in the summer with the contract situations, because they can completely evolve their team completely without really being forced to sell anyone. They've got established young players in the first team already. They've got a group of young players coming through the academy who will probably be ready to at least be in the first team squad, in your Joel Colwells, your Dylan Lawlers, your Louis Giles. Then you've got another crop of youngsters who are looking real good, who you never know what they could do in the future, like Manny Barton and Perrott and these people. Like, there's loads of them. Then you've got Salic, Robertson, Tanner, Bagan, Fish, Darland. I'm sure I've left one out, but they're all under 25. Like, in my opinion, Cardiff have a very unique opportunity, because normally if you want to rebuild a side, you've got to, like, sell players and they're on too much money and no one wants them and blah, blah, blah. Like, you don't have that situation. You just bring in one or two proven championship players to play with them, and you're laughing. But, that's a story for another day. In terms of tomorrow, we must be aggressive. We must start fast. We must use Portsmouth versus Leeds, should be the blueprint for me. No time. Fight for every little throw-in, corner, decision, deflection, second ball, third ball, fourth ball. Cardiff have to be first to it. Do not let Blackburn settle on the back of two bad results, by the way. So they aren't in good form. They've lost to two relegation teams in the last week or so. So let's make it 3 by putting them under pressure early. Unfortunately, as I've said, I believe we're going to go direct and physical and for experienced sort of fighters. And I believe we need a couple of them, but I'm not sure what I would want I want a team of them, but it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm not a manager. I can't pick the side. As I say, the side I would pick would be a bit of a mix, but you've got to get some fighters in there. You've got to get Rawls in there. I think tomorrow, if he's fit enough to start, you've probably got to get Mansverk or Chambers in there alongside him. But in front of that, I think you can have Salic up front and then get some pace and creativity around him, as long as the pace is hard-working pace, like your Alves and Willock, Alves and Ashford and Davis, because they'll do the defensive work to support the fullbacks. It's must win, like, regardless of people's opinions, gotta play. There's real issues with certain players, but it's all got to be blocked out. There's real issues like at the club, with the board, the owner, the lack of football structure. People don't think the manager's good enough, whatever it may be. It's all got to be just pushed to the side and just get 3 points. Because there's been so many, like, and if you want something positive to hold on to, right? Since that Oxford game, Boxing Day, which was the culmination of an absolutely dreadful Christmas period where we were flipping awful, from the last 5-10 minutes of that Oxford game to now, twice we've been terrible. Leeds and Luton. Sunderland wasn't great, but other games we've shown enough to get a draw or a win out of a game. Unfortunately, defensive mistakes and focus issues has meant we conceded a lot of late goals, which turned draws into losses and losses into draws. And if you were able to hold on to those points, Gutas doesn't get sent off against Plymouth, we win that comfortably. Coventry, Robinson doesn't get sent off, and then we concede a goal straight away, we win that comfortably. Burnley, don't give them 2-goal head start. We at least get a draw from that game because we were excellent in the second half. So it is there, but we have to cut out the silly errors. The selection's got to be right. The tactics got to be right. But most importantly, the attitude, the application, and the tempo needs to be right. If those 3 things are not right, won't matter. Application, attitude, tempo. 3 things. If those 3 things aren't at 9 out of 10 tomorrow, it won't matter. Cardiff must find a way to win. There's no more time for excuses. It is what it is. Doesn't matter how we do it, just that we do it. As I said, I believe that Omar Risa will go physical, direct, and try and go a bit old school, which goes against the way he wants to play football. But I believe that's what they will go with. But don't let the last week or so blind you. There has been some positives between Oxford and today. It's just unfortunate that this last week was painful. We played 3 very good sides. And then in the big game where we really needed to turn up, we didn't turn up. But one thing I know is Joe Rawls tomorrow, if he starts, he will not allow those players to collectively have that sort of mentality where they're already down. He will fight for every ball, and hopefully, touch wood, he can put in a performance and roll back the years and put in a performance like he did against Swansea, because he was phenomenal in that game. And he led. We say we've got no leaders. Well, he was a leader in that game. And now we need him more than ever. He is a club legend. He is in the latter stages of his career. But he's still got something in him. And the one thing he definitely got in him is fight and heart and love for this football club. So, as I said yesterday in that video, the players, the team, the backroom staff, the physios, the boardroom, the executives, the flipping whoever, the corporate people, the owner, the commercial team, the media team, and most importantly, us as fans, we've all got to do our bit now and get behind that team. Yes, I'm concerned by what I think we're going to do tomorrow, but I will still be supporting that team, every single one of them. I hope Matty goes and scores a hat-trick of headers from long balls from the keeper. Don't care who scores, don't care how we score, just win the game, get 3 points, and take it on from there. This team is capable of so much. So let's go show the championship and show Blackburn and show those 400 fans who are travelling, by the way. They deserve a performance, because the majority of that 400 go to every single away game, sing their hearts out. Don't matter where it is, they travel up and down the country and they support the team. They never negative, they never boo the team. They always behind the team, no matter how many of them is there. They're always there. They always do it. Those players after that Luton game, they owe those fans, all the fans, but those fans in particular, they owe a performance. And I hope they do it, because as I just said, this team is capable of way more than what it's shown this season. Time to fight like dogs, get 3 points. That's all that matters. Guys, it's a bit of a shorter one tonight, because ultimately, I've been up since 5 o'clock. I've been driving all day. I'm absolutely knackered. Thank you for the kind words regarding the talkSPORT deal thing. Appreciate it. As I said, it doesn't change anything for you guys, but obviously it just helps us spread the word. Please do spread the word. Shout out to the people who bought tickets for Glen Loovens today. If you haven't got yours, please get them. It's going to be amazing. There's only a few left. There's a couple at £10 and there's a couple at the £20 ones left. It's going to be a wicked night. That's all I can tell you. Have a great evening. The boys will be back tomorrow night for the post-match show. I might do a very quick video, like straight after the game, and see how angry I am. We can do it. So let's hope the boys turn up. Make sure you subscribe and like and all that stuff. Please spread the word as well and tell your friends. You know, Cardiff fans, like, if you're a Cardiff fan, it's a no-brainer, isn't it? A YouTube channel, which is made by fans, so I haven't got, like, a media bias, and 7 days a week of Cardiff City content. Features ex-players, current coaches, guests from the world of football every Wednesday. Like, what's not to like? 6 more subscribers for 1,000, but I don't want to stop there anyway. I want to carry on and take it as far as it'll go. We've done well in the first 12 months of operating, onwards and upwards. Thank you, Jay. And mate, can I just say, by the way, right, this man here is a legend. Absolute legend. Sent multiple Patreon memberships this month. Absolute hero. And I would like to finish, instead of a star man for tomorrow's Cardiff City team, I'm going to say Jay Enreal. He's the star man. Absolute legend. He says, congratulations on the talkSPORT affiliation. Appreciate you, mate. Thank you very much. 3 points for Cardiff City tomorrow. Get your girlfriends to sign up. Get your wives to sign up. Become a member. I'm going to do something special for the member show next week. I don't know what, but I'll do something. Fuck it. And don't forget, next week as well, Harry's back, and we're doing the Cymru and Birth podcast. I think, off the top of my head, it's on Monday and Thursday, I think. Keep the faith, my friends, because you know what I'm going to say. The Blues are staying up. See you tomorrow. In a bit.